morning. So, cognitive interculturality. What a great set of words, huh? But what does it mean? Well, it's the importance in diversity, but what ultimately comes down to this. How many of you find it much easier to speak to some people than other people? Most people do that one. And one of the reasons is that some people think the same way that you do, and other people think differently. In my job, we use a tool to look at different kinds of ways that people think. And we assign colours to different ways of thinking. So one way of thinking is we have the reds. And these people are generally very extrovert, and they do not like detail. And they have absolutely no patience working with anybody else. Then we have the blues. And the blues are also really logical. And they like lots of detail, lots of process. You have to go through all the bits, all the process, everything else. And as a consequence, number one, they don't recognize the value of emotion at any time. And secondly, they're totally inflexible, because we have to go through all these steps. And then we have the green people. The green people are so emotional. So emotional. The whole world is on their shoulders. And they're emotional, but they're introverts. So they don't really like to come out of their shells. And their great strength is making sure that everyone's okay. So they will check everything's okay, see if you're all right. And also, if the project deadline fails, it's tough, that's life. I mean, it's important that people are good. And then finally we have the yellows. And what do the yellows do? They're extroverts. And they're emotional, so they play on their emotions. And particularly, what they're really good at is networking and meeting new people. And what they're terrible at is actually finishing anything. They don't manage to finish anything. So everybody tends to be a combination of all those. And if you are speaking, say if you're red, if you're speaking to another red, you can be very direct and very blunt and everything else. But if you're talking to the greens, you have to be careful and not upset them and everything else and recognise the emotions. So why is this useful? Well, in diversity, you have the ones that everybody knows about, and those are the ones you can see. So, for example, you might have sex and gender, you might have people of different ages, intergenerational stuff. You're going to have people of different races and different colours. And those are the ones you can certainly see. And sometimes you can also see whether someone has different sexuality, and certainly you can see if they're neurodiverse, which usually might have some kind of different problems, but they particularly think differently. So what happens is, all those few things are the ones that people get measured on, those are the ones that people get jobs on. But in reality, there's lots of others, like religion. There's the country you were born in, the country you live in, your education, your class, your accent. If I speak like this, it's because I come from north of England. And no one in London will even accept you exist. So you have to learn. I know it's the same in Spain, from Andalusia. I'm not going to develop Andalusia, so you're okay. And so, all these different things are aspects of diversity. All of them. And what impact does it have? Well, it impacts on different things. Diversity comes with three other words: equity and with inclusion. Now, many company board has 15 old male and stale and pale people and the woman. And what's the woman's job? To do women's things. So she's not involved in anything else, and equally the men don't do women's things. That is not inclusion. So basically, what you need to have is everyone doing everyone else's role, the same whether you're, what race you are, whatever else it is. So it fails. Equally, you have stereotypes to do with which countries you're from. The Spanish, well, their reputation, turning up late, getting very emotional, and not achieving a lot. Whereas the Dutch, you have to be on time, and you have to be very logical. There is no room for being emotional if you're Dutch. So what happens is, when you go to a country, you can look up the reports like from Hofstede, everybody else saying, this is who these people are. But in reality, in Spain, in England, everywhere else, you have these four kinds of people. The ones which are red. Remember the red ones? Yes. Remember the blue ones? The blue ones. And there's the yellow ones. Every single country, every single person has this collection of things within them, and they're in the team. So if you go to a different country, don't think because you're in Spain everyone arrives late, because they don't. We all arrive more or less on time today. And don't think they all get emotional. Some don't. Spain is also known for being very logical and very researched. So what ultimately happens is that you've got to learn. Interculturality is about how you deal with different cultures. So if you're dealing with, I don't know, people who in the Middle East, in the Far East is a good one, because culturally almost all of them are trained to never question anything. So the skill, they do what they're told, they don't question. So one of my skills I had to learn in Hong Kong was never ask anyone a question where the answer can be yes, because they will say yes anything. They might not do anything, but they'll all say yes. So ultimately what you're learning to do is deal with interculturality and conversation. Learn how to speak to people according to how they are and communicate well. And that is interculturality at the cognitive side. It requires everything. So, thank you very much, and ask me if you want to know more about it.